Hey world, welcome back to another episode of Be Inspired Podcast where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. My name's Samuel. I'm back at you with another awesome episode. I got Skky McKenzie on the line, the founder of Social Solutions. But before we get into it, I want you to go ahead and hit the like, share, subscribe buttons down below and comment. If Sky's dropped some gems, go ahead and comment and share what was your biggest insights, because I know she's about to bring the fire for you guys. Before we get started, I want to just give a quick shout out to Creative Dream Collective. They do all our flyers. They make it happen for us. So just appreciation to them. And it's going to all be linked at the bottom. So go ahead and reach out to them if you need any flyers, t-shirts, anything like that. So Skky, what's going on? We got the Social Solutions founder on the line all the way from Trinidad. When's the last time you've been back?
It's been a while. It's definitely been a while. But I'm doing amazing. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm super excited to get into all of the nitty-gritty when it comes to everything social solutions, content creating, camera presence, and just my journey in general of making it to the point that I've made it to and the journey as it continues.
Awesome. Fun fact, my wife is also from Trinidad.
Look at that. Small world.
I know, right? Man. So, Skky, I know it started in corporate, but tell me what happened. What made you decide to make the jump into entrepreneurship and social media?
Okay, so let's start the story a while back. It wasn't even more so me choosing to start this journey, it was more so the journey kind of chose me. And so basically was working for this company for a number of years, about like 6, 7 years about so. And it came to a point where the company was not exactly doing as great. Turn around, I end up actually getting laid off. And for me, I honestly, up till that point, I was in the mindset of thinking I was gonna retire with this company. I was with this company for so long. I loved doing what I did. I was locked in. Like, you couldn't tell me that 3 years ago that today I would be doing social media content creation, starting my own business for, in the world of social media. So I got laid off and I was like, you know what? This is the best time to just make a TikTok. I've always wanted one. I have time now.
We got time today.
And let's just see where it goes. Cause, I feel like a lot of people think if I don't have one yet, I've missed the wave. And I was kind of in that mind frame too, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna make the TikTok, kind of collect the whole process through video of me even getting laid off from when I found out till it happened until after the fact, and just bring that process and my real world experiences to the internet and just see what it did with it. So I I made the TikTok and the rest is history really with that.
Because for some people, it's a challenge. Like they get into the victim mindset of why me or how is this happening? What kind of stuff came up for you before you actually had the plan of, okay, I'm going to do TikTok?
For me, it was more so I didn't want to allow myself to be in that victim mindset. It was more of like, okay, if I have lemons, I'm going to make lemonade. If the situation is kind of bitter, let's make it bittersweet. So, funny story, what I actually did, like, when I got laid off, and I recorded this entire process on my TikTok because I was like, why not? Like, what would a TikToker do? They would record all this. This is the real world. This is what
Yeah.
really happens to people. And I know people can resonate with what happened to me because it happens every day to countless other people. So it's not like, woe is me, why me, just me. No, this happens to everybody. This
Yeah.
happens to people. Like, it's not just me. And when you're online, it's kind of it's a good collective, and me showing other people what happened to me lets them also know, no, it's not just you either. So when I actually found out that I got laid off, I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring a cake. I'm just gonna bring a cake to work, a giant cake. And on the cake, I wrote, laid off and paid off, follow me on TikTok. And I wrote my TikTok handle on the cake as well. Everybody loved it. So they were taking videos, pictures of it, sharing it online. I had countless other, YouTubers, TikTokers, creators like utilizing and remixing my videos and sharing it to their platform as well. People being like, I'm gonna do the same thing when that happens. Like if it happens to me, I want to have the same kind of mindset that you had and things like that. So again, I decided to take this bitter situation and turn it into a bittersweet situation by bringing cake. And it ended up going over really, really well on TikTok and they loved it. So
Saw them that was kind of like the start to it because I saw that one video has almost like 30,000 views on it and like 2,000 likes. So did you thought it would have grown that fast or make it that big?
honestly, no, because up until then, I was just posting like kind of like silly little videos and stuff like that. I didn't really take it that serious, but I would definitely say after that portion, it did take off a lot quicker. Like I said, people love the real world. Like, people love unfiltered, edited, just like raw emotions, you know what I mean? Like, and so they kind of got to go through this journey with me. And then as people in the future get laid off and things like that, they'll go on TikTok, they'll go in the search engine, type it in, see my journey, and it motivates them to be like, okay, I'm not alone out here. There's other people that go through things as well. And they can see that and, make their own assessments of how they want to handle it because it's not necessarily always happening to you. Sometimes it can be happening for you. Like in my case, I took it from a situation that was happening to me. And I was like, no, I'm going to make this happen for me and grow this platform to kind of use it as leverage now to get into open up other doors for myself.
Nice. I like what you say. Life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And that's one thing like I like telling my clients because life is really happening for you. It may seem like a negative situation, but you could definitely turn it into a positive. So I like that you said that. Was there ever a time that you were scared or afraid of like putting your face out there? You know, some people have the fear of like going on
Oh,
camera.
okay.
So, any of those types of fears came up once you started your journey?
Definitely. Believe it or not, before I actually really started getting into my content creation, I was not even someone that turned the camera on myself. Like, I would always be the one recording everyone else and everything else. And I had to there was a series of different, I would say, like, initiation rituals I had to do with myself to get myself out of my own mind and onto the camera to kind of break that sort of stage fright moment where you're like, I have to edit this video, I have to look at myself, and then I have to post it, and other people have to look at me. But there's so many different things you can do to get yourself comfortable. I really do compare putting yourself online in the realm of like public speaking, acting. You know what I mean? Things like that, where a lot of people do have that initial fear of getting out there. But I think once you start doing it and you start getting comfortable with it does get easier every single time. And just like anything else, practice makes perfect. So the more and more you do it, the more and more you kind of like desensitize yourself to the I'm on camera or, oh, people are looking at me kind of feeling. It does get easier every single time. And like, it's just that easy. You just got to do it, honestly.
Nice. So, just jumping out there and doing it. You said that you had some stuff for like initiation or some practices. So, what are some of those practices that you had to like give
So
some tips?
one of the easiest things that I tell people, like, kinda like the first thing, if you're trying to get out there and you do not record yourself, you do not watch yourself on camera, you do not, make just random videos of yourself, one of the easiest ways to get out of that funk is to start a video diary. Something that you're not posting anywhere, you don't have to show anyone, maybe some close friends and family, just to get some feedback and things like that, but get on the camera and watch yourself. That's the first step. Not necessarily saying you have to post it for the whole world to see, but start playing with the camera, start learning about like the lighting, getting yourself centered in the screen, making sure that like your voice sounds clear and coherent, that you're like enunciating your words so that people can understand you, and then watch it back. If you do this every day for about a solid month and you're just constantly watching and critiquing, letting your friends and family kind of watch and critique as well, you will definitely see some improvement in the way that you present yourself and have that presence on camera. I kind of compare it to like people that do public speaking. You may stand in front of a mirror They may go over their lines, they may do monologues and things like that, just to get that practice of looking at themselves and doing it. Now that we're in the future, we have technology, so you don't have to just stand in front of a mirror. You can record it, watch it back, share it with people that you know, and get real time feedback and kind of have that timeline so you can see, okay, on the first day I did this. By the end of the first week, I've noticed confidence in the way I'm staring at the camera. I've noticed confidence on the way that my posture is, where my hand gestures are. And you get that kind of step by step where you can look back and see the progression that you've made over time.
I like that. I like that because what popped into my head when you were saying that, you could see the progression because when I started this podcast, you could definitely see the progression. All the stuff that's going on now is not stuff that happened in the beginning. And it's a journey. It's a journey of getting to know yourself, learning about the system, learning about the processes, learning about the different little nuances of being online and sharing your life, your story with everyone, you know? So start where you are and it's definitely going to grow for you, you know?
Exactly. I think it's a lot easier than it sounds. I feel like before you actually get going with it, it kind of seems like this mountain. And then when you get up to it, it's just an anthill. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it's never that serious. You know what I mean? It's all fun because at the end of the day, social media should be social. Social media should be fun. It shouldn't be something that you're dreading doing. You
Right.
should have that confidence and that comfortability when you get on that camera to know that like I'm just like anyone else out here, and if it's been done before, I can do it too. I just gotta try.
Yeah. You can do anything you put your mind to.
You really can, honestly.
Oh, and this is still in the early stages. You got that video, you started going viral. So, how was it leaving the job and then also monetary wise being able to sustain it? Because that's something that would stop someone. I don't have the money. So, how did you get over that obstacle?
Think you also have to put yourself in a position where you're willing to sacrifice. And you also have to be honest with yourself, right? Just because I'm not doing what I was doing before doesn't mean I can't find a side hustle while I also make my dreams happen, right? So I feel like some people think it's all or nothing, right? They're like, I'm all in content creator or I just have to work a 9 to 5. You can find that balance, especially in the beginning stages. Like I said, for me, it was more of a you're on your own here. Here you go. You're out of the job field, so let's figure it out. For me, what I ended up doing was really giving myself a time frame, right? Realistically, I knew how much money I had in the bank. I knew how much my living expenses were and the time that I allotted myself to focus in solely on TikTok. So for me, it was about a year. Right. For the year, I was like, I want to focus in on this platform, grow this platform, see how much I can make off of this. And if it's sustainable or if it's not, figure out, okay, what's the next step where I can integrate my life where I'm not doing the corporate 9 to 5 thing. I can use this account as leverage to start getting deeper into the social media world, making connections and things like that. So for me, when I first had that, I took a year off basically from when I left the company. When I got laid off, I had signed the paper saying that the layoff time period was 1 year. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, after a year, I would get to go back. That didn't happen. So, but we'll get there. What I ended up doing was I honestly was going live on my TikTok every single day. Every single day. I told myself, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I took a pen and a paper and I wrote down different topics, different ideas, different content pillars that I would try out, basically just throwing different things at the wall, seeing what would stick and seeing what I liked doing and what flowed naturally for me. And I just tried each and every single one of them out. Okay. Like I was literally going live. It was Monday through Friday, and I did 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. at 2 hours at a time for each live stream. And that I was able to really find my people, really find my audience and people that resonated with what I was going through, the things I had to talk about, and really grow that page. In its total, I grew my TikTok to the 30,000 followers within 2 years. And that's just honestly without a niche still, without really being like, this is exactly what I'm going to do. It's only kind of like now that I'm starting my business that I'm actually starting to niche down and say, okay, I think I figured out what it is that I'm gonna do here. So even in the sense of like getting started with it, I think getting started is more important than doing something specific, figuring out a niche, being like, okay, well, if I'm gonna make a TikTok, I wanna do cooking videos, that's all I'm gonna do. It's okay to try different things. It's okay to kind of go through that phase online where you're like, I don't know what I really want to do with my platform, but I know I want to build a platform. I know I want to find like minded individuals and I want to see how much I can gain from this account. Basically, I was going live every single day, seeing how much money I could make off of it. And in the early stages, it was doing extremely good right off the bat because I kind of, like I said, kept going with the real world vibes and kept finding people that were also going through similar situations. We were able to talk about things and really they resonated with the mission that I was on. And they wanted to see how can I do that too? How can I emulate and do the same thing that you're doing. So it was going good. But again, you got to be realistic with yourself. And I think it's important to give your, even though, you know, it is social media, I think it's important to give yourself timelines, give yourself deadlines, be realistic with yourself and say, okay, realistically, if I do this for 6 months, where do I see myself at the end of this 6 month? What are my goals that I have set out for myself with this account? And let me give myself that space to actually try, you know?
Wow. I like that. Wow, because it's not easy to just jump in and start seeing results as soon as you jump in with social media. It takes time. But I like the fact that you stuck with a plan. I'm going live every day at 12 a.m. and 12 p.m., and whatever comes from it is going to work. So, what are some of the things that you found that help you consistently doing that?
Definitely what helps me with consistency, especially on social media, something that I always tell people as well, as find something that's not an addition to what you already do. So, for example, you're doing the podcast, you're talking to people, you're inspiring people. That's something that you already would do, regardless if the camera was there or not. I feel as though you like talking to people, you like inspiring people. And whether the camera is there or not, you would be having these hard conversations with people, seeing what they did, seeing what they do, you know? So, uh, I would always suggest to do something to where it doesn't feel like an added layer to your life. Have it be something that flows nicely into what you already do. So you're not giving yourself a whole nother list of things to do, right? So for example, when I first started my page, like I said, I had my whole list of ideas and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try all of these things and see what works. One of my ideas was I want to be a hair someone who does like the hairstyles online. I actually don't do hairstyles in my hair. Like, this is it. I just wear my hair down. This is it. And so when I put the camera up and I was trying to make a bunch of hairstyle videos on TikTok, and I was like, I have never done this in my entire life. This is a lot of added work. I have to go learn how to do this so I can try to look like I know what I'm doing and teach it to other people. When if I was going to do a hairstyle in my hair, I would just look up another video. You know what I mean? So it was me trying to add in an additional layer to something that I just wasn't being true with myself. I had just saw it online and I was like, I want to try that. But after a short-lived period of me trying to do that, I realized that's not me. That's not who I am. That's never who I've been. So I'm not going to do that, right? Like if you don't like cooking, unless your page is going to be something like join me as I learn how to cook. If you never cook, if you go out to eat every single day, it makes no sense to start a page that says cook with me every day. You're better off starting a page that says try different restaurants with me every day if you're someone that goes out to eat every day, but have it be in line with something that you already love to do, something that already feels natural to you so you can still give that energy of authenticity when you get on the camera and it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like I'm living my life and whether or not the camera was here, it's something I would already be doing.
I like that. Just being able to incorporate what you're doing in your regular life and making it happen. That's interesting because we think we have to go out and make content, go by the ocean, go by the lake.
You make this whole big strategy scheme of what it is to make content because that's what you've seen. But in reality, everything is content. Everything you do, everything that you are, you just have to press the camera and press start. Like, that's what it is.
Okay. So I know a lot of people want to know, how do you go viral on TikTok or just any social media platform?
I think there's a very fine line of there's a very specific recipe for going viral online, and I think a lot of people overthink it for one, and I also think there's a lot of different types of viral. People say that they wanna go viral, but there's good viral and there's bad viral. There's many different kinds of viral, so you have to ask yourself, "Do I really wanna go viral, and am I gonna see any progression from that?" Right? I know you guys have probably seen some pages where it'll be a super viral video, and you go on the person's profile and they have like 15 followers because that one video went viral, but nobody went and clicked on their page from that one video. It was just a funny spur of the moment random home video type thing where it just went viral, and then there was nothing else there. That's it. It was just that. So I think, in my opinion, yes, that's viral, but that's not necessarily good viral. Good viral is going to be when you post a video, it gets a surge of likes, right? And it doesn't have to be a million, 2 million. It could be anywhere where that surge is more than your normal, right? So that's your viral right now. So there's layers to it. The the difference is when you post something that does go viral, you want to make sure that your account is already primed with other stuff on it, right? You don't want one video to go viral. They go onto your page and it's just one video of your cat, one with your grandma, and there's nothing else on your page. So then they look at your page and they're like, I'm not following this person. You want to make sure that even if the video goes viral or it doesn't, that you're putting care and thought into your page. That way, when you do have a video that goes viral and they go on your page, they see, wow, this person posts videos every week. This person is a real person who cares about the content that they're putting out. I like the content that they're putting out, and I can see myself following along on their journey of whatever it is. You want to really round yourself out online. And like, that's why I always tell people when they're posting, don't just think I posted 10 videos in a row that didn't do great. Feel like that's kind of like my all my backup. So that way, when one video goes viral, people go down the rabbit hole. They're going to go watch 10 videos in a row now. And now those 10 videos that you thought didn't do great are doing just fine because there was actually substance on your page for people to go check out when that one video went viral.
Mhm.
There's a lot of other things too that contribute to like making a viral video in general. For one, it's going to be that energy in the first 3 seconds of the video. That is, you have to hook them. You absolutely have to hook them. There has to be something that grabs their attention. A way I like to, for me, when I'm looking at videos, I ask myself, why did I stop scrolling just now? What within those first 3 seconds of their video made me stop scrolling? Why is this video viral? Right? And doing that little bit of questioning takes you out of being a content, like someone who is just ingesting content, to being someone who's going to be producing content. So you want to start watching videos in the sense of, I'm not just a consumer, I want to be a producer. And you want to ask yourself why? What made me stop scrolling? What made me follow that person? What got my attention? Because, attention spans, they don't last forever.
Yeah.
So if you're not eye catching in the first 3 to 5 seconds of that video, if your tonality is not there, if you're not using gestures, eye contact, things like that, there's a high chance that people are just going to scroll to the next video that's going to catch their attention. Okay, so there's a lot of little things, but I think once you get down to the science of what makes something viral for you,
Yeah.
it gets a lot easier to continuously produce that.
Okay. I like that. So my next question would be, like, I know you stuck to 12 a.m. and 12 p.m., but
Yes.
what are your thoughts about posting other different contents? And do you recommend like 3 times a day or 1 time a day? How much times a day should a person actually post to help their page go viral or get seen more views?
I know this is a big one. This is a question I get asked so much by so many people. They're like, when do I post? What's the best time? When? Honestly, let's start with this. I think you have to be posting something rather than nothing. So once you're posting something in general, whatever that schedule is for you, let's say once a week, which is, you want to get a little bit more than once a week, but at the least, you want to get your algorithm going. You want to get the ball rolling. You want to get stuff potentially on the For You page. So I always tell people, don't overthink the times, don't overthink how many times a day or how many posts per month or whatever it is. But you want to get things flowing in a certain sense of saying, okay, the algorithm knows I'm here and it knows I'm posting. Once you get over that hurdle of at least like once a week, I'd say, you want to start thinking along the lines of, who's my audience, right? So if you go into your analytics, it'll let you know where in the country, where in the world your viewers are, if they are men, if they are women, what's the ratio of that, right? So if all my viewers are in America and I know people are up and active, most people, they work 9 to 5s, they wake up. A lot of people, the first thing they do is they scroll. You get on your lunch break, the first thing people do is they get on that phone and they scroll. You get out of work, you're going to scroll. When you're laying down in bed, you're going to scroll. So if we figure those kind of main times throughout the day, there's like about 4 main times throughout the day that are the heightened points when people are scrolling. Those are going to be your better times to post, right? Even if you say, I want to test it out. I think it's better to test out your audience, throw things at the wall and see what sticks than just say, okay, every day I'm going to post at 8 a.m., right? Maybe that's not the time that your audience is going to be scrolling as much. Maybe that's not the time that your region of people will be scrolling as much. And maybe your stuff is, you might check your analytics and see, okay, I have people in Italy, I have people in China, I have people in all these different time zones that are more active on my page versus people in America. So you might say, okay, I might post something at 2 in the morning, and that might do way better than something I'm posting at 2 in the afternoon here. So it's about, like, everyone's algorithm is going to be different. There is no one size fits all when it comes to what's the best time to post. I think in totality, you do have to just try different times out, see what works the best, keep your eye on your analytics and do what makes the most sense. But just being human beings, like I said, we know when we first wake up, when we're on lunch break, when we get out of work, and before we go to bed. Those are the times that most people have that phone in their hand. And again, you can even test this out yourself. Go from consumer to producer of content. Clock yourself when you're like, when did I first check my phone in the morning? When did I check it on break? Like, what are the times that I'm using my phone most? Because humans are about the same everywhere. This is just, what the average person is doing.
Right. Wow, I like that. That's good. Lunchtime, when you wake up, before bed, and coming home from work. Those are key times because that's true. Every time people on lunch, they're scrolling. They're not on a phone call, they're looking at social media. That's
Oh, yeah.
good. I like that. So, my next question is what kind of backdoor tips that you would give someone if you're coaching them or telling them to start this journey?
I think one of the biggest tips and tricks I would give is, honestly, nobody's perfect. Nothing you do is going to be perfect. Don't even think about the word perfect. Think about being human. I think true to its name, social media, it's about being social, right? There are no perfect people in this world, and if there was someone online that was just truly perfect, you'd probably be like, they're AI. They're probably not real, and they might not be at the end of the day, but I think just being social, just taking it back to the basics. You know what I mean? Like, don't overthink it. Just be a human, just get out there and be yourself. You know, I think a lot of people, they see all these viral YouTubers and TikTokers, and they kind of all have that same energy and aura where they're like, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. And, they're kind of copy and paste at that point. I think you have to find you. Don't try to be like everybody else that you see online that's super viral, and everything comes in waves and everything is constantly changing with the algorithm. So really find you online, even if it is an alter ego type energy that you have, but like, be that person. Whoever you are, be you. Don't try to be this perfect person or emulate your favorite, YouTuber, because at the end of the day, your favorite YouTuber has a favorite YouTuber, and they're probably nothing like them. Okay, like at all. And one day you might even be your favorite YouTuber's favorite YouTuber if you're just true and authentic to yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
not just trying to be a copy and paste of that person exactly.
Wow. That's good. Oh, man, Sky, I appreciate all the tips that you're giving. So, what are mindset is important in entrepreneurship and starting your business. So, how were you able to keep such a strong mindset? I know you said set goals and set plans, but what helped you? Because mindset is as important. So, what really helped you kept your mindset on track? Because there's days that people don't feel like it. You don't feel like it. You don't want to do it. So, what helped you in that area?
Oh, for sure, for sure. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that every day I fly out of bed motivated to to make my dreams come true and it's me against the world and you have to have this personality where nothing's going to stop me. That would be great if we could do that every day, right? But being realistic, you got to create a community. I'll say that I definitely very much value mentorships. I very much value having a community to talk to of people where if I'm not feeling the best that day, it's not just, oh, well, power through it and that's what an entrepreneur does. No, sometimes they go talk to their other entrepreneur friends and they say, "Hey, I'm not feeling it today. Can you give me some tips on better business practices, on how you got through those first phases of starting your business and things like that?" But I think being social, having that community, like realizing it's not just me against the world. You know what I mean? Like there's 8 billion people here. There's no
Yes.
way that we're just supposed to be here by ourselves, doing it by ourselves. And my thing is that there are hundreds and thousands of other entrepreneurs out here. And if they've done it, that means you can do it too. And that just means that there's plenty of blueprints to help you along the way to figure it out. So for me, I've been networking like crazy, building up my storage unit here of all types of entrepreneurs, all types of business owners and CEOs, bosses, and all their different perspective fields just to see, okay, how did they run their businesses? How did they like maybe I can shadow you for a day or two and just see what you do and how you handle high stress situations so I know how I can try to maneuver myself and do my thing. And then I think another big part about it is you don't have to burn yourself out, right? Like obviously we want to keep going with energy and we want to like I said, it'd be great if every single day I flew out of bed ready and motivated to work on my business, but that's not always the case. Some days you do need to be realistic and say, hey, I'm going to take a break today. I'm not even going to think about this because when you're working a 9 to 5, you have off days. You have days where you don't even have to think about work. You might have PTO, you might have a vacation for a week and say, okay, I'm not even thinking about work for this entire week. But when you're trying to be an entrepreneur, when you're trying to build your content, whatever it is, I feel like it's easy to get down on yourself and say, no, I need to every single waking second that I have, I need to be working on this business. I need to be posting videos and I need to be editing this or doing that. That's going to burn you out.
Yeah.
It really is. So it's super important to just give yourself time to say, okay, for this next 12 or 24 or 48, however long you need, I'm going to just focus in on doing something that makes me feel good. I'm going to relax. I'm going to go read a book, whatever it is that gets your mind clear. And then you can
Mhm.
start up again, refreshed, renewed, feeling ready for the world. And I think that's a much better way to go at it than just, trying to overdo it.
And that reset is very important because we need it. Like you said, you get breaks at work, you take time off, but hustle, the grind mentality is go, 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 make it happen. But we do essentially need that time to rest, reset, and come back clearer. I think
Exactly.
one of the books that said it best was X versus X is easier than 2X, where he says every quarter or every few weeks, just take a trip to refocus, gain clarity, gain a bigger vision, and come back ready
Mhm.
to jump back in it.
Yes, I think when you're like, it's like when you're in the picture, you can't see the big picture, right? Like if you're looking at it this close, you
Mm-hmm.
can't really see all of what's going on here. There might be stuff over here that makes your life easier. There might be a network over here that gets you further ahead. But if you're kind of like always looking at everything so nearsighted, right? Like you're never going to be able to really step back and look at the bigger picture to see what can I do? How can I tweak this a little bit to make it make sense?
Yeah. So since we're on mindset and we just talked about books, what are some of the books that help you to stay focused and continue on this journey to entrepreneurship?
Think one of my favorite books that helped me out is a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and It's All Small Stuff. That one is a really good one because honestly, I feel like it's easy to psych yourself out with this and to not to make everything a big deal, right? Like every little thing, you got to make a logo, you got to find clients, you got to, you know what I'm saying? All these little things that really are little things in the big scheme of like the big picture, they get blown out of proportion a lot of times. So that's definitely a really good one that I like that kind of locked me in on everything. Another really good one is a classic, Rich Dad Poor Dad, because I feel like it lets you know that there's more than one way. You know what I mean? It's not just the way you were told is the best way and that's the only way. There's hundreds of other ways that everyone got the same results, right? Like people want to start businesses, people want to be entrepreneurs. Everyone that's done it has done it a different way. And so you can take bits and pieces of everything, collaborate it together, and find your perfect way to get what you need done. That in turn helps the wheels keep going for other people after you and after you.
I like that. Yeah, Rich Dad Poor Dad is good. That's one of the first book that I read. Get you on the entrepreneurship mindset to learn how money works because money works in a mysterious way and it's three levels to money. It's how you make it, how you keep it, and how you grow it. And we've never been taught most of how to use money. So I like that one. Those are two good books. Don't sweat the small stuff. Never heard that one, but that's nice. I'm gonna write it down.
It's a quick little read. It's a good one just to have on hand, I think.
That's cool. So we're coming up to almost our time, but I want to ask you just a few more questions, right? So before I get to our last question, is what is something that you thought I would ask, but I didn't ask you?
That's a great question. I didn't think about this. Hold on. Okay, I thought maybe you would ask, how do you how did you gain your camera presence? You didn't ask that. But
Okay.
I did teach camera presence and social media presence and things like that. I feel like you asked a lot of variations of the question, but I don't think it was that one on the head.
Okay. So tell us, how did you gain your camera present?
Honestly, I you have to want it. It does start with wanting it. You have to look at yourself in the mirror one day and be like, you know what? I think I want to do this. Because if you're doing it for any other reason besides the fact that you want to do it, you have a passion for it, it's going to fall through. Like, you can't say, I want to be on camera just to make money. It's not going to work. You have to have something in you that wants to share with the world, wants to teach, wants to grow and produce something that's going to help other people grow, you have to want it from within. And I think having those right reasons in place is what's going to really propel your content or your business or whatever it is involving social media to that next level of authenticity where people can trust you, where people can resonate with you, and people can really look at you and say, they're not just doing it for the money. They want to do this. Like whether you're getting 10 views or 10,000 views, you want to do this. And that's what's going to set you apart from everyone else.
So what's that deeper why that kept you going? Because you said you have to want to do it. So what is the why that kept you going?
For me, I think I've always had this energy in me that I've wanted to share with the world. And I definitely see it when I'm talking to people in real life. For me, like my thing is like, I love to talk. Right. I love talking to people. I love getting down and deep and what's stopping you from reaching these goals and really getting into it. And I realized I had this kind of talent for it in person talking to people. And then when I started going live, I was like, I can do the same thing with hundreds of people at the same time. And then it kind of clicked for me. And I was like, I think this is it. Like, I think this is it. And even still, it's still evolving and ever changing. And it might be another it in the next couple years or so, but right
Yeah.
now I know that that's in a sense like my gift to the world, right? Like everyone has something that they're really good at, you know what I mean? And if they hone in on that and really nurture that and share it with the world, it's going to grow. So for me, I love the fact that I can talk to just about anybody and off the rip they trust me and they want to talk and they want to get deep and I love that about myself and I was like this is what I want to share with the world even if I don't know how to yet. I want to share it with the world.
Yeah, I should. I remember because even when we were in corporate together, a fun fact, I don't think I said this, but we worked together in the corporate company. But you was posting videos on Instagram and we would be like, where do you get time to go post videos on Instagram? Like, we had all these
Yes.
packages going on and you're just like in the bathroom.
You just recording, I just got the camera. I am all that's the thing. I'm the person that's always recording. I love the documentation process of it, being able to look back on it and be like, wow, look at all of this. Like, look what we went through. Look where we are now. Look how far we've come. I just love it.
Was there ever a thought when you were in there recording that you probably get like terminated for that? Was there any ever thought, or you was just like, you know what, screw this, I don't care.
No, I don't even think I was like thinking along those lines. I was just like, documenting everything, everything. Like, you gotta have these videos for the future. Like,
For your
but I mean,
children, for your
I'm
family.
glad that's not the reason I did get, laid off. But but
Yeah.
you know.
So, what is one last tip that you could that you would give the audience if they want to start this social media journey?
I think one last tip I would give everybody is to not doubt yourself before you try. I think a lot of people, especially when it comes to a creative project like social media or anything else creative for that matter, they kind of doubt themselves before they even give themselves the try. Allow yourself to try. You know what I mean? Don't psych yourself out. It's something that's been done before and it's going to be done again and again. So why not you? Why not give yourself that chance? And don't be afraid to invest into yourself. You know what I mean? Whether that is, going and taking an acting class, taking my class, social solutions, you know what I mean? Or talking to people, networking with people, just putting yourself out there to say, "Hey, I might not know how to do this now, but I want to better my skills. I may not know how to edit a video good, but before I say, oh, I can't edit videos, try, ask somebody, get some help, tell someone, hey, I want to learn how to make nice quality recordings of myself and talking head videos and things like that. And you'd be surprised at how much people want to help you help yourself. You know what I mean? Like, so I think allowing yourself that space to be in the early stages, allowing yourself that space to ask questions, to ask somebody to mentor you, to really be vulnerable and humble enough to accept help and just let yourself try.
Sky, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming on here, sharing your knowledge, sharing your expertise, and sharing these tips to help anyone come on here and be able to grow and experience the social media. So, thank you, Sky.
Of course, anytime. This is so much fun, okay?
We can do it again, too.
Yes, yes. Anytime, anytime. This was fun. Fun fact, this was my first podcast ever, and
Wow.
I think we did great.
So, guys, we want to thank you all for coming and watching and subscribing. Thank you all for everyone that like, share, and comment on this video. If anything that resonates with you that Sky says or you like, go ahead and comment and share what's your biggest takeaway. Let's talk about it in the comments. So we want to thank everybody that tuned in, and we'll see you on the next episode of Be Inspired Podcast, where we're inspiring you to live the abundant life you deserve. Have a good night. See you next week.